All right, and we're live. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is the third Google Hangout of the series featuring 6 young professionals on the rise in 2015. And tonight I'm honored that we have Mr. Anthony Jackson, aka AJTWERKS, with us. That's a whole bunch of A's for y'all to get
Oh.
started with. So thank you, AJ. I sincerely appreciate you being here, and I'm so very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for even asking me to do this right now. I really do. Thank you so much.
Oh, so proud of you, as I said. So we're just going to jump into it because time really flies with the Q&A segment on this. You all have read AJ's bio on my blog, and you've read his questions. So we're just going to take it a step deeper and really get to go down to another level of answering those questions because there's only so much you can do when you're writing. So AJ, let's start with your career inspiration. How are you inspired to pursue this career?
Home inspires me a lot. Just growing up the way that I did, especially around a lot of dancers and people within the industry, um, home rubbed off on me a lot. I just try to represent for my city just as much as I can. I love New Orleans. I love Louisiana. Um, I would say the many people that I grew up with, the things that I went through, just, all inspired me to actually do what I'm doing now, actually. So, shouts out to Louisiana.
Yay to Louisiana. So, as many of you know, both AJ and I are from Louisiana, and we met at Southeastern Louisiana University where we both got our undergraduate degrees. AJ, can you tell me a little bit more about the organizations that you were involved in as an undergraduate student and how that played a role in your current career?
Wow. Sure. One of the very first organizations that I created actually on campus was Flipside. First and foremost, I have to give praise to that organization. It was very hard getting something up off the ground with new people, new ideas, etc. Um, and Flipside actually pushed me to, inspire, to create, to learn, to grow. And it's even still on campus now. And that just goes to show you how something can impact your life. There's many people that are carrying the torch, I believe, which is now Flipside. I actually just saw a performance that they did not too long ago, and it just made me blush a little bit and cry just to see that the organization was still around and still doing great things. Um, but that organization and the people that were a part of it actually were responsible for pushing me with my career now and just pursuing my dreams. Other organizations, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I love my organization. It taught me a lot about being a man and actually owning up to, my responsibilities. Other organizations, uh, like the fellas, I was actually a part of SGA for like a good semester, but I learned a lot just from the roomie aides and everything like that. Um, but there were a lot of different organizations on campus that I felt like pushed everyone on campus. And, I love the college years. I was just talking about that as well. But all of these organizations, they serve a purpose for you later on in your life, no matter what.
And that's really important. We have one question here. It says, and I think you've already answered this. It says, how important is it for me to encourage my younger cousin who's going to college to get involved in a student organization?
Being in their face, reminding them what's important and to stay active, as much as they can. It might, be redundant with just throwing it in their face, hey, you need to maybe get up and join this or go check this out, but it helps you. It helps inspire you to create, want to do, want to push, want to inspire other people as well. And that's most important because we join these organizations to inspire future generations and to keep, like I said, the torch going. But what I suggest is keep throwing it in their face. They're gonna
Yeah,
be on eventually. But
exactly.
but let them do it on their own. I can say that you don't want to force anyone into an organization, but showing the benefits of the organization, can help in the long run too.
And that's really good. And when you mentioned Flipside, I remember I was home a few years ago for homecoming, and Flipside performed at the homecoming step show, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe. I remember when Flipside was like the first performance. I couldn't believe that it was still around. So I know you had to feel immensely proud and
I was.
blessed. You're touching people that you may have not met face to face, but through them, you're inspiring them to pursue their passions.
Hmm.
And honestly, that's one of the reasons why you are one of the 6 young professionals on the rise, because it's not too many people your age that are having such a great reach and impact into other people's lives. And I mean, that's just amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's get into some of your professional experience. I know you do a lot with Dawn.
Hmm.
Can you tell us how that relationship first developed, and then tell us how you've nurtured that?
Oh man. That was about 3 years ago. Moving out here, I had a craving just to, want to create, and just to put work on someone who I believed in. And what's funny is that I actually heard of Dawn right after Hurricane Katrina. Of course, I was, watching Making the Band, and when I first heard about her and like heard her music, I was like, who is this? Like, who is this? Like, can I please work with her? Like, what's going on? And so I actually knew people in connection with her. One being Shonda Domingo. She's from University of Lafayette. She's actually a soror. Um, she I didn't know Dawn at the time, but I still had a close relationship with Shonda. And so eventually, we both wound up moving to LA to pursue our dreams in dance. And Shonda is actually related to Dawn, and she introduced Dawn to me, and we just clicked. And then, they spoke about wanting someone to actually create for Dawn and to actually get her in the movement that she was, trying to push. So when we linked, it was magic. I still have the first recording session that we did in the studio, and it was bomb. And then the relationship just grew. With artists, you can't, you have to be careful when you're creating for artists, and you have to like tap into their world and what they inspire to do. The audiences that they want to reach out to, and I get Dawn and she gets me, and that's the beautiful thing. Um, Whenever we get in the lab or create anything, is magic, and I guess she knows that too, and she's been loyal to me, and I've been loyal to her. So things have been going real well. We're independent, doing what we do. We're making a lot of sacrifices, and things do get hard, but it's more beauty in the art and creating it as well, which is what we both enjoy. So everyone else does too. So I'm just happy. I mean, I guess it was just owed to good relationships, loyalty, and actually continuing to work hard.
And that's really important, especially for a lot of people in this generation to understand how important it is to build relationships with people long before you go to a networking event. Because a lot of people, when they need something, they say, oh, let me go to a networking event so I can meet
Hmm.
people. But the true magic happens when you have an existing relationship.
Hmm.
So you might go to a networking event, but the most important thing is after you get a business card, follow up afterwards, get to know that person and nurture that relationship, because that's when the magic happens.
Yes. Yes, because I can honestly say Dawn and I, before we even got into the studio and I met her, it was just a warm and welcoming and very inviting, situation when we first were in the room together. And it felt like we were friends for some reason. And I'm just like, wow. I can look at the growth from then till now, and I'm happy. I'm really happy.
And people on the outside watching you, we can also see both of you grow, and it's just very rewarding to see the journey. So a part of the journey is, I'm sure your creative process has evolved and it's grown with you. Can you tell us about your creative process?
Whew. What I like to do, um, if I feel inspired by something, um, and want to actually create to it, I guess, what I normally do is just listen to the sound or the music or anything, any of the resources that I need to create. I basically tap into it for like a couple days. I've seen myself prematurely think on movement and things to inspire, with the movement for like a week. um, so what I do is just tap into it and try to get a feel for it, and I just vibe out. Sometimes I lock myself in the dark, and all I want to do is just hear creation of the music or, you know, whatever the artist is putting out there. That's how I get inspired because it reminds me to keep calm, to, just think and just to listen and to just marinate on everything. And then what I do is just get on up and I start moving. That's what's natural to me, just to sit and think on it, and then when I'm ready, I just get on up and I just vibe out in the mirror for a couple hours.
And in your written interview that's posted on the blog, you talk about how, God helps you with this creative process. And I think that's why it may be so natural for you because it is a God given talent. So, with that,
Yes, I do. I wanted to say that I do pray. Whenever I lock myself in the dark, I'm in tune with my headphones. I do pray. I try to get inspiration from the man above as well.
so this is not on the prepared list of questions, but I'm just curious. Do you meditate?
You know what? I've tapped into it, not thoroughly. I can honestly say I've asked many people that I know for advice on it. I haven't gotten too deep into it, but it's something that I would love to, look into and, to gain inspiration from as well, because I actually know a few dancers and choreographers that actually do that. And I more power to it. I don't have anything against it at all.
Yeah. I actually downloaded this app called Headspace,
Uh-huh.
and it's supposed to help you learn how to meditate, but like the first 10 days is like a trial period for free, and you
Okay.
meditate for 10 minutes, and it kind of like guides you through.
Okay.
And I had such a hard time with it. I'm like, I'm so all over the place, so much energy that it's probably gonna take me a minute before I can really like get into the practice of meditation.
Can you actually send me that info? Because I am curious just to see like what that entails as well.
Yeah, I'll shoot that over to you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
one of my favorite resources that I want to use a little bit more. So, as far as a person in your industry, are there certain certifications that you need to work with artists or to work with like a big label?
That's a good question. Time is everything. You have to become seasoned. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not even that seasoned in the industry right now. I'm still learning, but time is everything. Like they say, you do have to pay your dues. Um, Training is one of the first things that you want to do. You want to, get out there and put your face out there and have someone see you and your hard work and your talents, and have them, I guess, mentor you on things that you need to know about this industry. Um, with that training, it also comes finding your own identity. Um, Whenever you are just new, I guess, to the industry, you want to, find the time to actually figure yourself out and, how you can push yourself within the industry as well. Most dancers and choreographers out here, they do seek agencies. There are quite a few. Um, and you want to build a relationship with those agencies to help push you and motivate you and, you know, get you work. And ultimately, you guys are partnering and doing business together. It's important to follow a certain, I guess, law of unwritten rules within the industry with just training and, just getting seasoned and finding yourself and pushing yourself to people who, could inspire to believe in you and your craft.
So,
So
do you have any mentors that you work with, and how often do you talk to them?
when I actually moved out here, I had quite a few choreographers that I work with. I do keep in contact with quite a few a lot. Many of them are busy and, of course, still booking, but I can say that Kenneth, Nate Adams, Othan Burnside, they're amazing people who I did look up to when I first moved out here. Trisha Miranda as well. Just their art and what they did to inspire, dancers like me in the past, just really, helped push me and motivated me to actually get up and want to do something. So I do give homage to them pretty much. Um, I do speak to people that, just dancers that I did start out with as well. This industry is a tight one. It's a small one, so it's not very large. I can honestly tell you that. So we keep in touch with, people that we broke bread with, pretty much still.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
So
industry's very.
you mentioned that most people link up with an agency. How did you find your agency, and what was the process like? Like, take me to the moment. Did someone introduce you? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? What was that like?
Pretty much when I first moved out here, and that was a fast week. I actually moved out here to LA from Louisiana, I want to say 5 days after I graduated college. So that was quick. And I didn't know anything. I was just a fish out of water, literally. Um, I can remember the scrapes of money that I brought with me and everything. But whenever I did come out here, I linked with my longtime friend, Marquita Washington. I believe you know her too.
Yeah.
Um, I linked with her, and she pretty much was already out here, and she knew the ropes, and so she just shared everything with me on what I should do. I did meet a couple people, and that's how I got linked up with the first job that I ever started working on out here in LA, which was with Britney Spears' Circus Tour. And then working for that project introduced me to people that I should know and look up to within the industry and gain advice from. And then I just took that and pushed myself to actually get signed. My first agency was Trio Talent Agency. Um, right now I'm signed to GTA, Go To Talent Agency. But Trio Talent Agency was my first. They saw something amazing in me, I believe, and just working with them. Of course, I had to get myself into shape, take new headshots, update resume, get reels done. So it's a lot. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but it was an eye opener, and that's one thing that I appreciate, and I'm gonna always keep with me.
And tell me a little bit. I didn't know you had moved to LA so quickly after graduation. Um, as someone who moved from Louisiana a few months after graduation, I know it was a struggle for me. It was like a serious grind.
Mm.
So, what gave you the courage, first of all, to leave home? Because
Home gave me inspiration to leave home. Home, like I said, home inspires me a lot. With the dance community in Louisiana in general, not just in New Orleans, but in general, it's not what you would think it would be compared to cities like New York and LA. It's a totally different vibe. I mean, I can honestly say now Louisiana is a state that's getting a lot of work with new movies, sitcoms, and new things that just involve dancers more now. But back then, I just had to take a stand and get up and do something. I told myself the hundreds of dollars that I had left from graduation, I would just get up and make the move. It was a hard transition, I would say that. It wasn't easy because, I mean, coming out here, and expecting to book jobs, that wasn't it. I had to work, and then put in time and effort to actually have what I have now. So again, like I said, everything takes time. I thought that I can push it, but I did regret it. It was a struggle. It was real hard. It was real hard. I'm gonna honestly say it was.
So when it was hard and you were going through the struggle, what kept you going?
Man, good question. My grandfather. He was one of the ones that first, one of the people that first inspired me to actually move to LA and to put my pride aside, put my fear aside, and to actually get up and do something as well. He told me to aim for the stars, and ever since, he passed, those words have been in my head. So that's what I'm aiming for, no matter what, 24/7.
And that's powerful, the importance of family and those words that you cling to that at the time may not seem like a big deal, but later on they turn into something that continues to propel you.
Hmm.
So,
I honestly say home pushes you, no matter what. Home pushes you.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean when you say that. But for those people who are not from Louisiana and they don't understand what home pushes you means, break that down for us.
When you grow up in an area where it almost seems impossible, and I'm kind of getting touchy by it, but when it almost seems impossible and you feel like you have nothing left, but then when you see that light and you hear something speaks something so softly into your ear to get up and move and do something, you're going to listen. I mean, when I grew up, it wasn't as cracked up as what I thought it would be, to have a life in the hood. And when I started, dancing and people saw that I actually had talent, it was just like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can make something of myself, It's just those little bitty things that, you think about within your past and how it just pushes you to want better and to do better. I can honestly continue to say it's just home. I wanted to get up and get out the ghetto. There are many, many people that I know that are back home right now, and I'm pretty sure had hopes and dreams just like me, that I'm even still trying to fulfill right now. But, they had hopes and dreams, and where are they still? Home.
Right.
I just had to get up, get out and do something, train and want and push myself. That's all. There's nothing
So
wrong.
before we leave this topic and move on, if you had to tell someone right now something to inspire them to pursue their passions, to push past their fear, and to do something that they've always wanted to do, what would you tell them?
Hmm. Remember what I said in the interview? It never gets easier. You just get better.
Yes.
Keep striving, keep pushing, keep staying motivated, inspired to inspire. Get up and do something. There's so much more in this world that we can see and do and have the chance to just grow and learn from. Just want more for yourself. Get up, fight, push yourself, drive yourself. Um, just keep grinding. That's it.
Yeah, and I love that. That was one of my favorite quotes out of the whole series this year was, yeah, it doesn't get easier. You just keep grinding in. And I definitely believe that it's true. So as we transition into our next question, someone asked, how did you get involved with the Debbie Rennie double the blah blah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah, Debbie Reynolds. How did you get involved with Debbie Reynolds Studio?
Ah, let's see. When I first started teaching out here, about 2 years ago, um, pretty much I was just looking for ways to, share my talent and share my roots, share my movement, share my music, all from Louisiana. And I felt like I couldn't find anywhere to, really call a studio home for what I wanted to do. But I wound up doing a few shows and, of course, getting them documented and a few things, a few projects with other dancers. And what I did was took all of my materials, headshot, resume, videos, everything, took them to Debbie Reynolds dance studio, and I showed my work off, and bam, whoop, there it is. And I just got in at the studio and just started teaching. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And I've seen from your Instagram from time to time that you travel from city to city and you teach courses. So, what is that process like for you, and how much preparation goes into that?
I mean, with, I guess, time, like I elaborated on earlier, time and seasoning, and putting your work out there and getting people to see it, it opens up new doors and new opportunities for you. Certain studios have called on me, personally, just to actually go to their studios and, teach my style. So it can be a little easy with finding the studio home to, share your work with. Sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking, I'll say that. But for the most part, it is easy. You just have to believe in yourself, document every single thing you do professionally. That's important within this business as well. And just have big hopes and, push for the, limits with actually getting your work out there, and everything will fall into place. But for the most part, it was easy. I can say that, because I just kept being persistent. So, and I'm actually getting ready to start back teaching again. I've just been busy with Dawn, but I can honestly and surely tell you it's time to twerk some more. So be on the lookout for that.
So, this question is coming in. I thought it was it made me chuckle a little on the inside. But it says, um, did Miley Cyrus play any role in upticking your business?
Well, you know what? I'll give kudos to Miley for trying. But, she's amazing. I won't kid that. Every artist is amazing in their own light, and I can honestly say I've followed her for some time, so I'm not gonna knock anything that she does. But if she really wants to know how to twerk, she knows where to come. AJTWERKS, I promise.
You heard it here first, folks. AJ is saying that he will teach Molly how to twerk. So,
The right way.
yes, the right way. So, tell us more about the twerking style that you teach, because I know a lot of people may have a misconception that it's easy to do.
Mhm.
I know for sure it's not easy. So, what is a class like with you? And tell us what twerking really is from the expert.
Well, growing up, I can remember myself twerking at a young age, I guess you can say. My mom always reminds me of a moment where I've always been the center of attention to want to, I guess, shake a leg. Um, she tells me a lot of stories about how when I was young, I just loved to dance. And the main thing I used to do is just shake my leg and pop my booty. So, I mean, growing up, of course, I've trained in other styles, but it's something about New Orleans that just stuck with me every time. You know, it's that beat. It's the beat that comes from the late '80s, early '90s. It's you can't help but to shake and but to move to it. New Orleans is a culture like no other. Deeply rooted with music, food, people, everything. And I've always, again, wanted to be that one that put on for his city. And with New Orleans bounce, I think a lot of people don't know about it, and they need to know about it. Just the culture of New Orleans in general. I feel that with me pushing this style, it opens up people's minds and their bodies to different types of movements and different types of sounds. That's all I hear every time I teach. Whenever I teach a class, I'll start off with a warm up to a nice NOLA beat, and get everybody grooved out and ready. And then I just go straight in with cardio, I guess, for the rest of the hour. But it can be very intense with me, very cardio driven style. New Orleans doesn't play whatsoever.
Right.
Um, and just seeing the smiles on people's faces after the class, it just says enough for me, and it keeps me pushing. Seeing their bodies sweating, seeing them actually working it out on the dance floor, like it's the little bitty simple things, and it just makes me want to push for home even more. People are gonna know New Orleans bounce. I guarantee you, very, very soon. More.
Yeah, someone asked, can you tell us where your next classes will be?
My next classes will be at IDA Hollywood International Dance Academy, right there on Hollywood and Highland, and Debbie Reynolds Dance Studio. Debbie Reynolds is right in the heart of North Hollywood. But I will be making plans to start back teaching either at the end of this month or top of next month, starting for sure. So catch me. I normally post on my social media whenever I teach too.
So, yeah, I kind of wanted to transition into that side as the entrepreneurial side where you promote yourself and you're posting your videos and things like that. Are you doing that yourself or do you have a team working for you?
That's all me. The hustle. That's all me. I don't pay anyone. I don't hire anyone. That's whatever I put on social media is all me. I mean, when it comes to actually editing stuff, the music, the movement, the video, everything is just me. I created.
So when you're posting, because in your interview you said one of your favorite tech tools was Instagram. Tell us why Instagram versus something like a Vine or YouTube.
People are all on it right now. I mean, the amazing thing is it keeps it simple, short, and sweet. You get 15 seconds or a photo to actually post and intrigue your circle, people around you, people that you might not even know. Like, it's where everyone runs to for entertainment right now or information. Like, it's crazy how social media has, transformed and evolved from like the 90s until now. We have this social media outlet that opens up doors for people, and you get to express yourself, with the app and so much more. So that's why I would choose Instagram over any social media platform, because right now it's hot. It's the thing to
Right.
have, and if you don't have one, people look at you crazy. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's take it to the business side a little bit. Tell me about how you run your business and your brand, AJ. As you're building your brand, what are some of the things that you're doing?
one of the most important things is also the top thing I would say is praying. I also always ask God for advice on what I should do, and whenever I get inspired to do something, I'm just pushing for my dreams even more, and He's helping me out. I do pray, and what I do is just think of innovative ideas myself. There are other people around me that might push me as well. I always ask my friends and fellow dancers and choreographers within the community for advice, um, to actually rock with me on the project possibly as well. Um, I just love to sit and think, sit and pray, and I do get inspired by other people as well. And I always just try to push for innovative work. That's all.
I have another question here. It says, do you ever receive any criticism or constructive feedback? How do you take that and incorporate it into your work?
One thing you can't do is feed into negative criticism or negative feedback. I feel like all artists shouldn't compromise who they are. Um, that's something that I would never do, because I believe I was at that phase in life where would criticize myself a lot and always sit here and think what others think of me and my work. But I've learned that you can't please everyone. If people rock with you, they rock with you. If they don't, they don't. Just like spoken like my artist now, Dawn. She said those exact words, and I get it. Um, as far as the criticism, I'll take it if it's negative and then just brush it off my shoulder the next second. If it's positive, I promise you'll get as many hugs from me as possible. um, I love when people love my work. I mean, who wouldn't? So I give into the positivity by actually just pursuing bigger and better ideas, pushing myself and wanting to create more for them so they can enjoy the positive work that, I give back. But it's all about not feeding into the negative because we've all been there. I don't care who you are. We've all been there.
Right.
So you just gotta brush it off your shoulder. That's all.
And I have another question here. It says, what artists would you like to work with in the future?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good question. Well, the main one that I really would have aspired to work with was Aaliyah. She actually was pretty much the first artist that got me to get up and move. But hmm, I would really, really love to work with. That's a good question. I'm stumped. I just want to create. I just want to create. Like it honestly wouldn't matter if the artist is an artist that can take what I give, make it their own, be successful with it, and so forth, and actually love what I do, respect and appreciate it, then I'll create for you. There's no there's many artists out there that I love, I would say that, but there's not one artist that I wouldn't create for. If two geniuses want to get together and inspire to create, then I'm down. I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm down.
I like that because some people, they're so focused on a goal and they put themselves in the box like I'm working towards only X, Y, and Z, and they forget all of the other alphabet. So I like that you're open to, you just want to create, and like you said earlier, if the chemistry is right, then you move with it.
I've created for many different artists on different calibers. And I've, there have been some rocky patches, there have been some smooth, sailings, but I'm grateful for it because whenever you team up to work with anyone, it's a learning experience. And it's only good for, both aspects and both sides to actually benefit from. So if I can benefit from it, then so be it.
Um, we have a really good question here, something I hadn't thought about. It says when you work with an artist, who handles the contract, your agency, or do you have to hire an attorney?
Usually it's either myself or my agent that's usually helping me on the business side of everything. There are some things that my agent would help me with more, but if it's a simple project that I just need to handle myself, then I know the resources that I need to, follow and take up on to actually make the job successful. So I would say myself and my agent as well.
That was a good question. Thanks for asking that. So we have about 20 minutes left, so I want to make sure I get to everyone's questions. What I forgot to do earlier, but some of you are already just sending me questions. The hashtag for tonight is NTCJ, that's Navigating the Career Jungle. So you can get the rest of your questions in these next 20 minutes.
Okay.
So AJ, want to go back to something that you said earlier. From an early age, you just heard the beat and you started dancing. How did you stay with that, given the major that you picked in college? Clearly, your passion was always dance.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that dynamic and how even after you graduated with your degree, you went to pursue dancing and choreography.
I get asked this a lot, so I'm prepared to answer. um, One thing about me, growing up, I still do, I have a passion for the law. I do. Growing up, it was just something about wanting, I believe, to not just, you know how the cops say protect and serve, but I've always had this slight passion for the justice system. I don't know where it came from, honestly. My mom was also surprised by it, but growing up, I had this passion for law, and then when it was time for me to leave high school and go straight to college, I didn't want to put myself in a box, one, and two, I also wanted to be prepared for not the worst, but just prepared for my future. Um, you know, the stigma, if you become a dancer and you hurt yourself, you're out of commission, blase, blase. We've seen that happen before. Growing up, I've seen that happen before, and I've heard things as well. So I just wanted to be prepared for my future after college. So that's why I went ahead and minored in dance and pursued my degree, my bachelor's in criminal justice. I was thankful for all 4 years and one semester that I was able to accomplish something that not a lot of young black men achieve. So that was important to me to get that degree and just to have a backup plan just for my future because I didn't know I was going to be in LA now. I don't know. But I felt like if I wanted to pursue a career in dance and anything happened, I just wanted to be, prepared for the worst and have something to fall back on. And that degree would have helped. I actually had a job when I first moved out here to LA. I used to work with Rancho San Antonio Boys Home, and I was actually rehabilitating sex offenders. That was my first job when I actually moved out here to LA. And of course, I didn't want to work the 9 to 5. I took that route and I just pushed for dance. That's it. But that's where those dynamics fall into place, basically.
Wow, that's interesting. So let's talk about how important giving back to the community is. And I know you have deep roots, especially with the organizations that you've been a part of, but let's take it a step further and tell us why.
I feel like it's important because you're setting the tone for future generations. Why not set the tone for future generations? So I feel that whenever you're giving back, you're also inspiring. People are looking up to you. They're looking at you no matter what. And people say this a lot. You're being watched with whatever you do in life. You're being watched. And if you're just sitting there giving your time away and not actually doing something with your life to help yourself and others, it's like, what's the point? It's important for us to set the path for future generations because you want people like you and better to push for your kids,
Right.
their generation that they're going to be. You have to remember that you're also setting the tone for your generation, your kids. So I think that a lot of people lose sight within any business, really. They lose sight of passing the torch, like I said earlier. I felt like with something, and not so little, but something just like Flipside, like passing the torch for that and actually keeping it moving, it gives hope. Like I can sit here and honestly say that if I was to reach out to any members of Flipside right now wanting an opportunity to dance, it would just inspire them to actually get up and want to do more and actually be a part. And it's the simple things that matter with passing the torch and just inspiring. That's all.
So you brought Flipside up again, and I'm glad you did because I had more questions about that. Are you in contact with the current leaders of Flipside, and what's that relationship like for you? And do you have any plans in the future to collaborate?
Actually, the funny thing that you asked that, I was actually in contact with them a couple months ago. Right now, I haven't heard back from them, but I had high hopes to set the tone for an amazing event. Flipside will actually be 10 years old in May.
Wow.
I remember, I still have the letter from the student organizational office about, the creation of the org and everything. But Flipside is coming up on 10 years, and I actually tried to push to have an event with the president and former president. I haven't heard back from them, so I don't know if they've, sought other options, but I am still in touch with the previous president, Rachel, and she's an amazing girl, amazing girl. She actually graduated and she's working on her, I believe, master's at this point in time, but she's still involved with the organization and passing on information that was passed to her. And I wasn't the one who actually brought her in. It's amazing. It's like 4 or 5 of the presidents that were before her. So she's doing an amazing job. I have been in touch with her, but the current president, I haven't spoken with, and also none of the members. But I can honestly and surely tell you, I tried to reach out to them, but I know that they're in good hands from what I've heard. From what I've heard, good hands.
I mean, that's just really great. And for the organization to be coming up on 10 years, I didn't even realize. I mean, I guess I should realize since I've been out of school for 8 years. But, that just speaks to the longevity and how important it is when someone, especially like you or anyone else listening to us, if you have an idea and you have a strong passion for something, to go forward. Just go ahead and put it out there, because AJ probably doesn't even know the impact that Flipside has had on each member's lives, all of the members that have come through that organization. And one thing about student organizations, when you're on campus, sometimes it's hard. Classes suck. Sometimes you have a bad teacher, you have a bad experience. You might want to quit and just drop out of college. But because you have a network of people, whether it be a sorority, fraternity, or any other type of organization, you have a close-knit community, those people will encourage you and push you along. And that's not even just in college, that's with any stage of life, how important it is. AJ, before we started recording, we kind of mentioned this. It's just so important to stay in contact with people. So I also continue to applaud you for Flipside, because I just think it's so amazing how this organization that I remember your first performance there,
Man.
This organization still goes.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. Again, I saw a recent video. It was from a talent show on campus, I believe, but I'm proud of them. I see the numbers are still there. They're even opening up the organization to other nationalities from what I see, and it's amazing. They're training. So to Flipside, please keep pushing, and just know that I'm always here for you guys.
So to that end, I know you're busy with your day-to-day and your teaching. Do you have any other projects that you can share with us that you're working on?
Right now, I am working on my clothing line.
Congrats.
Yes. Thank you so much. I am working on that. Trying to get that up and moving is a pain, but I'm pushing and I'm successfully making waves. So I'm happy to say that AJTWERKS and iTwerk will be out soon.
So you definitely have to let me know when that comes out so I can make sure I spread the word to
I'm going to send you some free merchandise. Don't worry. You're good.
Oh, okay, thanks. I'll be wearing that. So we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. Another question that just came through. It says, AJ, you sound like a really positive person. Thank you for sharing your story. You mentioned prayer earlier. Who else do you talk to keep you going when things are challenging?
I talk to my mom. My mom gets me through these days of just being in a city where life is just so fast paced. She calms me down. She brings me back down. She's always that one that reminds me of scripture, how important it is to get down on my knees no matter what I need. Like, I miss her. I'm trying not to cry, but I miss her. She's going through some things right now, but she misses me dearly, and that's why I wish I can be with her. But I am there in spirit. I will be home soon. I can tell you that. But it's just my mom who grounds me, and I'm so thankful for her. She reminds me of the simple things in life. She just reminds me to be respectful of people, things that aren't owed to me, to keep fighting, to keep pushing myself, pushing myself and reinventing myself. I'm so thankful for her. I really am.
And that's amazing. That's one of my favorite things about going back to Louisiana. Is from being here in Atlanta and things being so fast paced, is you get there and it's just like, let's just sit on the porch and talk. And it's just like, when was the last time I just sat outside and just had a conversation? So yeah, appreciating the simple things in life. Those, you can never have enough of those moments.
You can't. You can't. And it's crazy because, you know, I just got a big woof of it, you know, just to keep remembering to enjoy the simple things in life, because so many people are going through things, and you know, sometimes we need that inspiration just to pick us back up. And when you think about the simple things, it's amazing what they can do. So my mom is that inspiration for me, though.
So, are there any other resources, videos that you watch, or tools that you use to keep you up on your craft?
I support other people's work. No matter what, I'll, you know, lend a hand to actually be a part of a piece or something, or a project, or give, you know, shout out to a view or something like that. No matter what, I feel like it's important to keep pushing other people's work as well that inspire you. So I try not to get soaked up into other people's work and lose inspiration. That's important too. But no matter what I do, I keep my eyes on the streets and just know what's going on, pretty much within the community of dance, that at least. So.
And I think that's important. And in any industry, is you have to keep your eyes open and know what's going on around you, but you got to stay true to yourself as well.
Yeah.
So this question that just came in, it says, "What do you do to relax? It sounds like you work a lot."
I haven't been on a vacation in months. I really never have time to relax. I wish I did, but the Cali beaches are amazing. I actually will be there next weekend, I can tell you that. Next weekend is my birthday celebration, so, but
Happy birthday!
it feels amazing to see another birthday out here in Cali, I can say that. But if I was to relax anywhere, it would be a massage parlor or the beach. Yeah.
Very cool. So we're coming up on 5 minutes. So I want to thank you again for being here with us tonight. Just to let everyone know, this video will be posted on my YouTube channel shortly after it wraps up. If you have any other questions for AJ, if you want to give us some parting words of advice or guidance, and then tell people how they can get in touch with you.
No problem. Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just some parting words. Remember to keep aiming for the stars. It might sound cliche, but it's not. Put in the work, keep grinding, keep believing, keep inspiring, inspire to aspire. Like, just keep it going, guys. I wish you guys the best in anything that you do. If you need any advice on anything, you guys can contact Jackie or myself at AJTWERKS. That is my Instagram. That is also my Twitter. You can also reach me at facebook.com/JackDaripperson, my line name, JackDaripperson. Thank you guys so much.
And the link to AJ's contact information, all of that's posted on the blog, jacquelineswilly.com. Just click on the blog button and you'll see the feature 6 young professionals on the rise in 2015. Of course, I can always put you in touch with AJ if you have any questions. I want to encourage everyone to look out for his upcoming classes. Look out for the clothing line that's going to be out. I'm sure all of you are going to want that. AJ, I'm so proud of you. Keep pushing, keep inspiring. And there's much more to come. So you all know why he's one of the 6 young professionals on the rise in 2015. His interview was amazing. This Google Hangout was amazing. So I'll be in touch, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for another Google Hangout with Delicia Sylvester, who is the CEO and founder of Women Elevation magazine. So y'all have a good night.